Yeah, hello. I've just finished this spectacular course on learning how to learn from Coursera, led by Professor Barbara Oakley and Ferenc Sanjovsky. And what I seek to do now is to consolidate the learnings that I have had from the past 4 weeks by means of using this video. And the technique that I'm using here is called a memory palace technique. So what we are going to do is we are actually starting from my house here, our house here. We are moving from this house currently, and what we're using is the locality. We know the places in this locality, so we're going to trace a route around this place and also plant different techniques that I've learned in the course in this place so that I can just walk through these and recollect them whenever I need to go through as a means of revision and recall. So right now we are in location 1, which is home, and yeah, so that's location 1, home. So location 1 is about focused and diffuse mode of thinking. A focused mode of thinking is a mode of thinking in the brain where familiar tasks are performed by the brain. Diffuse mode is used for more creative and open tasks. The focus mode functions like it's analogous to a pinball machine with the bumpers very close, and the ball is not free to move around in too many places, but it's very efficient at repeating a known logical sequential pattern. Whereas in the diffuse mode, the bumpers are spaced far apart, so the mode of thinking moves from different centers of the brain and interlinks concepts which are not very related sometimes, but this is more random. So since the diffuse mode is more creative and random, it is used for ideation, but it's important to check our ideas and validate them when they come up from the diffuse mode with the focus mode, because the diffuse mode is inherently random and error prone. So that's the focus mode and diffuse mode with location 1. Myself in Bayerischer Platz, which is location 2. Location 2 is Bayerischer Platz. The Bayerischer Platz has a railway station. It has this lovely courtyard where there are a lot of rabbits usually. So this is location 2, Bayerischer Platz. So in location 2, we'll be talking about sleep. How we associate this with Bayerischer Platz is because there are a lot of rabbits here, but as you can see right now, there are no rabbits here because most of them are hibernating, deep asleep in winter. And the importance of sleep in learning cannot be overemphasized. It's been shown that sleep is really important in clearing toxins from the memory. The size of the brain cells shrink, allowing the toxins to wash off. And sleep also helps consolidate memory, also helps consolidate learning. It is found that new neurons are generated in the hippocampus during sleep. So it is very, very important to get a good night's sleep in order to make our learning better and make it more sustainable. So that is the role of sleep. So we find ourselves in location 3. Location 3 is the church in our neighborhood, and so the church has always been associated with power in the past, in the history, and so that is why we are going to use our church, which is a pretty church, which is a pretty magnificent church, as location 3. So we'll be using location 3 to learn about illusions of competence. So while learning, it so happens that we have a feeling of having learned something without actually doing so, and this is called the illusion of competence. The church traditionally has always been using illusions of competence for getting power or for grabbing power over people, and that's why we're using this location. Illusions of competence happen when we are solving a problem and you're looking at how a problem is solved, and without solving it ourselves, get this feeling that we understand how to solve it and therefore we can solve it. It happens when we underline too much text in the textbook, which gives us a feeling that we know the content that we underline. And also, illusion of learning is seen when we open sources of study like a textbook or Google, and we have this, or when we reread textbook, we get this feeling that we already know what we are rereading just because we're familiar with it. And those are illusions of competence that we must look out for. We are at location 4. Location 4 is the Landshuter coat of arms, and we can see here the beautiful coat of arms. Oh, what a lovely dog. Okay. The Landshuter coat of arms is location 4. What we're going to use location 4 for is to learn about overconfidence. So overconfidence happens when we are, especially in the focus mode of thinking, what happens is we latch onto information or results that we get, and it becomes difficult to verify because that is how that mode works. And verification and looking at it in the big picture actually happens in the diffuse mode. So it's important to use, and the means to get over overconfidence is usually to use teamwork, to work together so that somebody else can look at the mistakes that you're making and point them out. So the coat of arms symbolizes teamwork, it symbolizes power and strength of a team, and that's how we get over overconfidence. We are at location 5, the Schaffenberger Strasse. This is the same street that Emanuel Lasker used to live before he was driven out of Germany by Nazi occupation. Emanuel Lasker was a brilliant chess player, and he lived in Schaffenberger Strasse, which is location 5. So our topic for Schaffenberger Strasse, which is location 5, is chunking. And the reason we are doing this here is because Emanuel Lasker, the great chess player, used to live here. And as we know, chunking is a process by which our learning is consolidated into smaller and smaller portions of the brain, which can process them very easily, keep them in smaller slots in working memory, and do these tasks almost automatically without thinking. The process of chunking has been used by chess players to understand portions of the board holistically with regard to the relationships between pieces in order to find the next move more easily rather than think about it piece by piece. So Emanuel Lasker, the great chess player, was obviously great at chunking. Chunking is what we are going to recollect in location 5. Location 6. This is a special location because Albert Einstein used to live here, and we are fortunate to have lived in the neighborhood where Einstein spent some time. It also is obvious that in this video we had to include Einstein, one of the greatest brains of our times, as a location. So location 6 is Einstein's house. So what we'll be looking at in Einstein's house is the concept of Einstellung. The German concept of Einstellung, it sounds like Einstein, so it's a little bit of a reminder. Einstellung is German for mindset, which happens when we learn too much of the same thing and we get into known paths of learning or known ways, and we refuse to deviate in spite of receiving better or newer information. Einstellung can be defeated by deliberate practice or by interleaving. So deliberate practice happens when we are practicing always at the zone where we are not most comfortable with the learning, and we are pushing ourselves to learn better. And deliberate practice and interleaving happens when we are trying to use we are learning different concepts one after the other. So deliberate practice and interleaving can be used to defeat Einstellung. The wide expanse that surrounds us is actually Prager Platz, and this is our location 7. One more time, location 7 is Prager Platz. So location 7, which is Prager Platz, is what we'll be using to recall procrastination. Prager and procrastination. And procrastination happens, there's a mechanism by which procrastination happens. So we are prone to procrastination when we reach a stage in our learning which is a little difficult to get past. And when we encounter this difficulty, the brain has the same kind of response that it does to fear and releases these chemicals, and that's what causes procrastination. We seek comfort in times of these fear, and we move to a task which is more rewarding immediately. And that is why we end up spending a lot of time on social media or some other distractions which give us quick rewards. The way to break procrastination is to focus on process rather than product. And how we do this is using techniques like the Pomodoro technique. So process as a means to avoid procrastination in Prager Platz, location 7. We are at location 8, which is a memorial that commemorates partnership between Berlin and Prague. So one more time, location 8 is the memorial between Prague and Berlin. So in location 8 we are going to talk about memory in front of the memorial. And what we learn about memory in learning is that memory has two portions, which is one is working memory, the other is long-term memory. Working memory can hold a maximum of 4 pieces of information at any time, and once we use up working memory, it gets consolidated into long-term memory later, and that's how the memory system works. Memory consolidation works over time. Spaced repetition helps us consolidate memory into long-term memory. Processes like sleep help us with memory consolidation, and what happens is it's really important to sleep and exercise regularly for memory consolidation to happen. So memory is a very key part of learning. So location 9 is our favorite ice cream place in the neighborhood called Victoria Ice. So you can see the large ice cream cone here, and yeah, location 9 is Victoria Ice. What we'll be talking about in location 9 is about the power of testing. So we have learned that testing is more effective, like 1 hour of testing is more effective than 1 hour of studying and learning or reinforcing concepts. And the best way to test while studying is not to reread the content, but to recall the content, because recalling is in essence a form of testing. We've also seen a few test techniques in the course about how you can jump to easy or skip to easy. I found the skip to easy technique really useful, because what it does is you can start solving a hard problem in a test, and once you encounter a roadblock, once you see that you've bashed at it for a couple of minutes and you're not able to make progress, you can go to an easier problem so that your mind can process that in the background. So testing, skipping to easy is at location 9. So we are at location 10, and in essence we are back at location 1, which is home. And what we want to do while coming full circle is to summarize what we have learned today. So we start here at location 1 at home. We spoke about focus and diffuse mode of thinking. We moved to location 2, which is Bayerische Platz, where we learned about sleeping. And location 3, we went to the church, the Heilbronner Church, where we revisited illusions of learning or illusions of competence. Location 4 was where we learned how to tackle overconfidence at the Landshütter coat of arms. Location 5 was Aschaffenburger Strasse, the famous residence of Emanuel Lasker, a chess player who was really good at chunking. Location 6 at Einstein's house, we learned about Einstellung and how you can defeat Einstellung using deliberate practice and interleaving. Location 7 was Prager Platz, where we spoke about procrastination and how you learn to focus on process rather than product. Location 8 was Memorial, the Czech Memorial or the Prague Memorial, where we learned about memory and different techniques to do with having better memory. Location 9 was testing and recall, which we visited at Victoria Ice with a tasty cone of ice cream. And now we are back home and we are summarizing all these concepts. Thank you.